game. D. Winters had an ankle, did not return. Hargrave there at the end had a tricep. He didn't return either. Go ahead. Yeah, I think, it was a frustrating game throughout it. I thought we had every chance to win that game. I thought also we had a number of times in the game we had opportunities to run away with it, especially early in the game, having that 14-point lead. And they hadn't really moved the ball on our D and starting with that fake punt. I think after that, I feel like he went like 8 of his next 10 or something like that. So that got him back in the game. There at the end, a couple, we want to go in and score on that drive. Obviously a touchdown. We ended up getting a field goal. I believe it made it 2 scores. But then they went right down and answered with a field goal. I thought we had a chance to make it a 2-score game. We ended up missing that field goal. And then I think they got a bomb where they went down there right away. Didn't even make them really work for it. They got a big chunk. Got behind our defense too much today. Gave them some easy ones in that way. And you saw what happened at the end.
Have you ever been through a special teams stretch like this?
In my career, yeah, definitely. It was a disappointing block last week, definitely. Today, that fake punt, it's just the momentum in the game. That's where I thought we had a chance to run away with it, not give them any hope, and that gave them a lot of hope, got them back in it, and obviously would have loved to make that field goal. And then that punt return, I didn't really see it. They got to the left on our side. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but those were 3 big plays in the game.
Deep balls the last 2 games. Is there a common denominator on some of the completions you make?
No. Different guys, different coverages. No common denominator.
What was your message to them in the locker room, Kyle?
Just how disappointing of a loss that was. I knew everyone was pissed without them having to tell me, and we should be. When you have a game like that where you feel you have every chance to win and you don't get it done, those are usually the more disappointing ones. All 3 phases had their doing that, but there was also times that a phase could take over and not even allow it to come to something. And I told them last night, you got to take their hope away. You give Stafford too much hope, and you put the ball in his hands at the end. That's not a situation you want to be in. And we had every chance to avoid that situation a number of times, and we came up short.
How did you feel Brock played?
It seemed like Brock played his ass off from what I saw. He made a bunch of big plays. He took some good shots down the field. It was tough to not come up with that one on that last drive, especially after missing that field goal. When stuff wasn't there, he did a hell of a job scrambling, making some off-schedule plays, and from what I saw, I thought he played his ass off.
You mentioned the other day when talking about the Rams, how hard it can feel when you lose 2 in a row. How do you make sure this doesn't continue to go into next year?
Same way as always. Last year we lost 3 in a row. So you know how that's going to be regardless. We lost 3 in a row after winning 5 in a row. But still, I know how that felt then. I know how our guys feel now. I know how we felt all week. Had a real good week of practice. Thought it would carry over to the game, and it did in a lot of areas. There were some areas where that's why I thought we had a chance to not only just win but run away with it. And you still got to make those plays in the heat of battle, though. There were some big 3rd downs where we could have got off the field. Obviously, the fake punt where we should have got off the field. But you let teams hang around in this league, let alone one with that type of quarterback. That stuff happens more often than not.
Focus on one player, but Ronnie Bell, does he have to make that catch?
Yeah, anybody does. There's other catches in the game that you want people to make, but and you hope it doesn't have to come down to that. But Ronnie will say the same thing. He needs to make that catch, but if he doesn't, then you'd like to be able to overcome it, and you can overcome it in other ways, but we didn't.
I know there are injuries, but we really haven't seen Ronnie Bell make any plays recently, maybe in his whole career. Does he need to be on the field in that situation? Are there other receivers who should have got a chance there?
There's 5 in a game. We're rotating a lot of guys in there, and no, he was the guy out there. Chris Conley got that earlier in the game, but those 3 receivers we have up. Ronnie's been having a hell of a camp, had a hell of a week of practicing, but he's got to come down with that catch.
What can you say about Juwan's group?
Juwan was unbelievable. I think the numbers show it, but more than the numbers, just he was a warrior the whole game. He's always like that. Got a lot more opportunities today, and was automatic on every single one, and even some bad looks when I didn't know if the ball should go there. You quickly saw after it that they weren't going to take that away from Juwan, and he was very inspiring today how he played.
Can't think of many games in your time here where you've lost like this, where you've had to really look like you're in control. Maybe the Packers game a couple of years ago, but do these especially grind at you? Do you already feel it, that this might be a little different than some of the other losses?
Yeah, you just know when you have the opportunities to end it. You know, you don't want it to get to that point at the end. But I definitely know we did. We had those opportunities. We could end it on offense, defense, or special teams. When all three take their turns there at the end, those are the most frustrating ones.
Obviously, Jake's made a lot of kicks this year, all of them actually. But did you consider, what was the consideration there for going for it versus kicking the 55-yard?
There was no consideration. I think it was 4th and 5, maybe 4th and 6. But it was about making a 2-score game. I felt great about him. I don't feel much different from that distance to 48. Yeah, he's been real good with that stuff, and just missed it, and I'll have to learn from it.
The short one, I think Jordan maybe lost a yard. Did you end up kicking that because it was 4th and 2 instead?
Yeah, we were. And it was very similar to the situation before. You know, I felt good at finding a way to go up 2 scores. Definitely wanted it to be 14. The 3rd and 1, we knew if we got any on it, we were going to go for it on 4th, and we did. And the next time, we planned on going for it, but losing a yard and already being up 7. I thought the smart thing was to go get 2 scores. I felt their only chance to get back in the game was to make it a 1-score game, give them the momentum by giving them a chance to stop us on 4th down, and felt pretty good once we got up 2 scores, but that quickly ended.
What did you see from Ayuk?
Some good things. I mean, I thought, from what I saw, I thought he had a good game, but it was solid.
You mentioned that receivers are getting past your defense a little bit too much. Is there anything schematically that's happening there, or it's just happening?
No. I mean, I think they got 2 times that they ran one route, one they missed I think in the first half on the right side. They came back to it. They got by us again for the big play at the end of the game. They took a shot to Tutu, who we know can run, and that's what they're going to do with them. And I think one time we had a big PI, but those are normal coverages, what we've been doing for years.
How worried are you about Hargrave and the triceps?
I don't really know yet. Always when you hear triceps, you think tears and stuff, but from what they told me, they felt it was more a contusion and stuff, so that's better news. So we'll see, though.
Was Bosa close? Did you have to make a decision today, or was that always just kind of keep an eye on it?
No, he was good. Yeah.
Is there a couple more? Is there any part of you that maybe anticipated it would be incredibly tough, considering what you have to do and the focus you need, in a season like this coming up to Super Bowl, maybe see that maybe a little bit harder?
No, I didn't really think in those terms. I mean, you can think about that stuff in the off season, but once you get to these games, it's just about that week. And I knew today would be a big challenge. Anytime that a team is 0-2 and a team that does get embarrassed like they did the week before just on the scoreboard, and we talked about it all week, how we were going to get their best shot, and our goal was to give them no hope, to come out strong and kind of take that away. And it seemed like we started out with that plan pretty well, and once that fake punt happened and they got back in, it was much more of a battle.
Like that, are you in safety in punt coverage, or was that not called?
Yeah, that's we were expecting a fake punt there, and they still got our edge.
All right, thanks, Doug.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.